Once again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages, you are now tuned into the Investor Show. As always, this is your gracious host, the Prince of Investing, Prince Dykes, coming to you guys and girls live all the way from the beautiful city and state of Denver, Colorado. Y'all give me one quick second here. My Twitch live stream is not wanting to play with me right now. Y'all give me 1 second. Let me see if I did something. Okay. Let me get this straight. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you guys and girls can see in the description box, if you are catching this live today, let me run this banner across the bottom. We're going to talk about Tesla buying $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin within the last year. Well, of this year, the last 6 months. Then we're also going to get into Google revenue being up 62%, and we're going to look at their finances. And we're also going to talk about the housing market cooling off. LinkedIn going on 42%. Starbucks doing okay, but we're going to look at Microsoft. You know, LinkedIn is owned by Microsoft and all that other great stuff. So, ladies and gentlemen, y'all sit tight. We're going to have a good show tonight. We're going to go over some financial reports. We're going to look at some 10Qs of Google. We're going to look at Apple, Microsoft, and Tesla. And we're going to look at the housing starts report to talk about that housing market cool off. Ladies and gentlemen, I know it's been a while since I've done this and since I've been back, but I'm back here now. We're going to have some fun tonight. If y'all coming in live, y'all say hello. But if you haven't done so already, ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and make sure. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell icon. Hit that like, comment, and share button. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages, you are now tuned into the Investor Show. As always, this is your gracious host, the Prince of Investing, Prince Dykes, coming to you guys and girls live all the way from the beautiful city and state of Denver, Colorado. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, comment, and share button. And as always, I don't have a lot of time, and I definitely, you guys and girls don't have a lot of time, so y'all go ahead and jump straight into it. And don't forget to grab yourself with the Investor Show mug. You know the mug there. That's the only way to read these financial reports, as we're going to do today. So if you catch this live, tell me where you're from. Tell me where you're checking in at. Let's see what y'all said in the description box. Dakota Jones. What's going on, Dakota Jones? He says, oh, snap. What's up, Virginia? Okay, Virginia is in the house. All right. Nana Power, Miss Nana Powers. How you doing, Miss Nana Powers? I think Miss Nana Powers out of California. I think she is. Y'all excuse me if I'm looking a little rough tonight, but spent the last couple of hours reading and stuff like that. That's my guy, Al. What's going on, Al? What is going on? Dakota says, what's up with Alibaba trading below their 52-week low? I have to look into that one. I have to look into them some more. I haven't really been following Alibaba too much, but we're going to do it. Now, I can't even say this city. What's going on there, Paul? Well, how you say that city? I can't say that city. It says Paul Garrett is checking in from Guatemala. Is that Guatemala City? Don't laugh at me, y'all. Don't laugh at me. I don't read that well. I should have paid attention. Jamal Thompson, what's going on? He's out there in LA. What's going on, my guy? Okay. Miss Nana Power says she's from Cali and she recently moved to Nevada. Do I own some? No, I don't land in Arizona. I didn't buy Nevada. I would like to buy some land in Nevada. It's a bunch of open land out there, Miss Nana Powers. Think about it. When you go to Vegas, there's a bunch of open land out there in Nevada. I'm pretty sure there's some desert land out there for sale. And she says, taking the bar exam here, just finished day one. Congratulations. Shout out to Miss Nana Powers taking the bar exam. Brains. That's what I'm talking about. Brains. That's what I'm talking about. And for everybody that's tuning in, I will let everybody know this. I haven't announced it yet. But speaking of her taking her first part of a bar exam, I passed my Series 65 exam. That's a federal investment advisor representative exam. And what it does is it gives you the opportunity to manage assets for clients. So you have to pass the exam, and then you have to register with the state, become a registered investment advisory, or you can go work for another company. But, you know, I'm building my own. So I'm very happy about that. Passed that, got that knocked out yesterday. So shout out to myself. And she said, thank you. Yeah, I plan to buy here. The market is much better than California. Everywhere is better than California. I'm not going to lie. Everywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, right here, the first thing we're going to jump into, we're going to talk about Tesla buying $1.5 billion in Bitcoin. Now, where did you get this from? The reason why I'm bringing this up, not because I'm a Bitcoin enthusiast, but I want to show you guys and girls how to read those financial reports like a genius and be able to see companies and things like that, right? That's what I want you guys and girls to do. So right here, let's take a look at how let's bring it up here. We're going to bring up the 10Q for Tesla. I already have it pulled up. Look at that. I was prepared today. Prepared. Look at that. Here we go. All right. So right here, ladies and gentlemen, this is the 10Q report. We're going to come back down to this page, but I want you guys and girls to see what it looks like. So this is their 10Q. Today they put out their earnings. So ladies and gentlemen, so you can understand, the 10Q report is a quarterly report. The 10K is an annual report, right? So right here, the 10Q, this is their 10Q report that came out today after the market closed. So you're going to stroll down here to page, I think it was on page 14, I think it was. Let me get down here a whole lot fast. Let me just type in 14, or it might be 15. Let's see here. Where we go. And I was just reading their report, just glancing over, glossing over. You know, I have Tesla somewhere in my portfolio. So, but this is the big thing. I want you guys and girls to be able to read this and understand these financial reports here. So right here, it says, you read up on the digital assets net. It says during the 6 months ending in June 30th, 2021, which is June 30th, you know, the date, and the 6 months means for the year, we have purchased an aggregated of $1.5 billion in Bitcoin. In addition to the 3 months ending in March 31st of 2021, we accepted Bitcoin as a payment for sales of certain of our products in specific regions. Subject to the applications of laws, suspended this practice on May 21st. So pretty much right here, they're saying that on March 31st, they accepted Bitcoin as payment for sales of certain products in specific regions. Now, due to the law, Bitcoin no longer accepts, starting on May 21st, they stopped that practice. They do not accept. Remember, everybody kept saying, oh, Elon Musk said, hey, he's going to accept Bitcoin for his cars. He did on March 31st. But right here, when you dig into the weeds, they say, hey, due to the application of laws, they suspended this practice on May 21st. We may in the future restart this practice of transitioning into cryptocurrencies, digital assets for our products and services. We account for such non-cash consideration at the time we entered into the transaction with our customers in accordance with the non-cash consideration guidance included in the accounting standards AFC's 606 revenue contracts, blah, 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 period is quote. So essentially what they're saying is throughout this whole year, they purchased $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin. And they started out in March 31st. They said, we're taking Bitcoin to buy cars and stuff like that. But due to the law, they stopped in May of 20. They started in March. They stopped in May of taking Bitcoin. So, you know, I'm kind of keeping my eye on that market to see how that market develops. You know, I want to be stuck in the past and riding a horse when everybody's taking off in T-Model Ford cars. So I'm sitting back and watching that, and you can see what they're saying directly. So they're saying, hey, these last 6 months, we brought Bitcoin, but of course, it was a big thing there that they put out with Tesla accepting Bitcoin. As of May 21st, you can see right there, May of 2021, they stopped taking Bitcoin. All right. So that formulation, I keep telling everybody, my cold-hearted belief is what makes Bitcoin so great is that it's a decentralized currency. But I don't know how it can form itself in the world without somebody got to put their hands on it and regulate it. And then as soon as somebody regulated it in some regard, what is the real value? I don't know. So we'll see. We're watching that market, how it turns out. Right. So the next thing we're going to jump into, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get into this financial report. We're going to take at Google revenue being up 62%. And we're going to look at their finances. We're going to go through their 10Q report, and Google is looking amazing on the financial sheets. And I'm going to tell you all a little matrix that I like to do when I'm reading financial reports. Now, if you're tuning in here to get the next stock trick to trade, whatever, I don't know that stuff. I'm not that smart. It's a million other channels to go check out for that. But if you want to see what type of money the company is making and how they're making their money and how they look on their balance sheet, this is the place you want to stay in tune to. So right here, let me see what y'all say in the comments. We have Max B, he said, OG, how's it going? Max B, how's it going, my guy? And he said, Jamal Thomas, he said, congrats. Thanks, man. Oh, yeah. I forgot I was talking about that earlier. He said, thank you. He says, Paul, congratulations. Now go YOLO on Bitcoin. Right. So yeah, because you've seen Tesla buy a bunch of it. And so we kind of seen that system break into it. Paul says Bitcoin broke above 40,000 20 minutes ago. Okay. And that's probably why, because people probably read their reports and probably saw this. But this is how you read these things, ladies and gentlemen. You can find these exact same reports. These are public records on the SEC.gov, the Security and Exchange Commission.gov, and also the investor relationships on the companies. They have them too. But this is the way you read it. So now, ladies and gentlemen, this is something I saw very impressive. Right now, a lot of you guys are watching me on YouTube. Some people may be watching me on Facebook. Some people may be catching me live on Twitch. Some people may be catching a playback on iHeart, Apple, whatever. But let's look at Google. As you seeing YouTube dominate the media, social media is dominating the media. Now, in order for a song to become popular, it has to go through the media. You remember back in the day, you used to break a song through the radio. Now it has to be broken through the media. Products are broken through the media. Look at our comedians. The next hot comedian or actors are coming off of social media. Look at, you got YouTubers fighting, what's his name? Jake Paul, the next great boxer is coming off of social media. The next great actor, comic or whatever is coming off of social media. And guess who's running this whole game? Google. Google is pretty much the internet. I've been eyeballing Google. I bought a lot of puts and calls on Google back in the day. Never made that hardcore investment into Google, but on reading these financial reports, I'm going to go through something that you guys and girls might like. So let's jump into it. Where is Google financial report here? No, I don't want to see that one. Don't you try to hide from me. I'm going to find you now. It might be this one. Nope. It's this one, right? Nope. Download filing. Is it this one? There we go. Tried to hide from me. So here we go. Alphabet, that is the parent company of Google, announces its second quarter 2021 results. This is coming from Mountain View, California today after the market closed July 27, 2021. Alphabet. So, now look at this. Y'all pay attention to this. I want y'all to get down to this. Let's get down to the nitty and gritty of it. All right. So look at this. So last year, ending in June 30th of last year, the quarter. So they went from March, April, May. No. That's May, April. No, that's May, June. April, May, June. Okay, so from April, May, June. Last year, these numbers are in millions. All right. So last year, they made $3.8 billion in YouTube ads. This year, they report $7 billion in YouTube ads. Their Google networks, they made 4.7 million last year. This quarter, this year, 7.5 billion. Billion. 4.7 billion and 7.5 billion. Google advertising, 29 billion last year. This year, 50 billion. Google Clouds, look at their total revenues, 38 billion last year. They reported 38 billion, 297 million last year in total revenues last quarter. This quarter, 61 billion, 880 total revenues. Revenue from quarter to quarter. They call that the QQ, YY, year to year, quarter to quarter. So this time last year, they're up 62% in revenue. 62% from 38 billion to 61 billion dollars in revenue. I like that. Companies making more and more money. Now, we always know it's not about how much money you make, how much money you keep. How can we find that out? Let's take a look to it. Let's see, can we stroll down and find that balance sheet? Here we go. Look at their total assets. Their total assets, $319 billion, ladies and gentlemen. $319 billion in total assets. That's what they reported last in December 31st of last year. So far this year, their total assets have gone up slightly to 335 billion. But here is the matrix. Here's a number that I like. I like to see how much cash the company has in their hand. So reading this asset, total current assets are assets that can be converted to cash within 12 months or less, right? Now, because you can have a 1-year CD, you can have T-bills, T-notes, things like that. But let's look at cash and cash equivalent. That's just money sitting in your bank account. So when I look at that, Google has $23 billion just sitting in his bank account. $23 billion sitting in his bank account. Now, when I look at that number, I like to go down to what is their total long-term debt, right? I look at their long-term debt. Their long-term debt is $55 billion, right? So, it could be anything. Maybe they borrowed servers, who borrowed money. I don't know, whatever the case may be. You could look more into the thing. So you look at their long-term debt. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I misquoted that. That was their total current liabilities. That was the wrong number. So right here, their total long-term debt, you can see it right here. Last year was $13 billion. Now it's $14 billion. So Google long-term debt is $14 billion. Google has $23 billion sitting in cash in his bank account. So this company, imagine, I'm trying to put this in household purposes. Imagine the money you have in your checking account can pay off all your long-term debt, just your checking account. I didn't talk about marketable securities. I didn't talk about accounts receivable, income tax, none of the inventory, none of that. I'm just talking about pure cash. Google's pure cash can pay off its entire long-term debt. That's crazy. Almost double. They have $23 billion sitting in cash in 2021. They reported, and $14 billion in long-term debt. That's a great financial position to be in, right? So let's take a little bit further. You look at their total current assets. They have a total current assets they reported of $175 billion, and their what's their total current liabilities? Look at that. Total current liabilities is what, 55. So you look at their total current assets of 175. I mean, this is what's giving you that quick ratio, that ability. I mean, Google is a juggernaut financially. Juggernaut. Very good. Shout out to Google. Shout out to them. This is a company that's making money hand over fist, and it has enough money sitting in its checking account to pay off all of its debt. Look at LK Raw. LK Raw said, wow, exactly right. That is a financial juggernaut. This company, I think, is about $2,000 right now. I remember when it was $300, $500. But with that being said, looking at the financials, fundamentally, this company is super duper financially strong. And this is somebody I'm going to be rocking with. So on my dream team, Google is on my dream team. Just looking at the financial reports there, ladies and gentlemen. Now, ladies and gentlemen, people always say, Prince, this is going to be another episode. People always say, man, the housing market is going to cool off, or the housing market is going to crash. Housing market is going to crash. I can go off into this totally tyrant about why I don't believe the housing market will crash. I believe the housing market will cool off and plateau because the government has too many tools. And you got to think about it, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody's talking about a housing market crash because we had a housing market. We had a housing market crash, 10 years ago? Not 10, about 12, 13 years ago in 2008. So we lived through it. People saw it. I saw it. I remember I was in San Diego, California, and when the housing market crashed, and I saw that housing market crash, and I said, oh my God, how did this housing market, whatever. But now, ladies and gentlemen, you got to ask yourself, if you don't count 2008, when was the last time the U.S. housing market crashed? It was so long ago. You're talking about Great Depression, 30s and 40s. The last time we saw that before 2008. So that was like 60 years. So when people see things go up, they think they want to buy it, and they think crash, 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 crash. No, I don't see that happening. I can see a cool off because the housing market, inflation is going up. The housing market is going up, and then interest rates are very low. That's pushing the housing market up. But inflation is high. But unemployment is still high. Unemployment is going to have to cut down. When unemployment starts to fall, I think the Federal Reserve is going to pump up the fund rate. Once they pump up their fund rate, I think it's going to reflect into the housing market. And once it reflects into the housing market, I think the housing market will cool off. I think houses are just slowly becoming unaffordable because inflation is so high, but people's pay is not that high. When you look at the employee pay index or something like that, it's called, it's not keeping up with inflation, right? So here we go. Where are we at? So let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go through this report. without further ado, let's go through the report. We're going to look at the housing start. What is this thing called? The new house sales report that came out today from the Census Bureau. So let's take a look at it. Let's see here. If you want to follow along on this, I will give you the website as well. Let me see here. I got it up. I'm prepared tonight. You know where we at. Well, at least don't let me speak too soon. No, there we go. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, this came out yesterday at 10 o'clock in the morning, 10 a.m. This is came out on July 26th, Monday. This is the monthly new residential sales. We all want to see how the houses are being sold. The last time we looked at I think it was the Home Stars building. So here we go. The United States Census Bureau and the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development jointly announced the following new residential sale statistics of June 2021. So new houses sold, they sold 676. I'm not sure if that's millions that they're putting this in. They could be putting anything. So they're saying they got 676 million. I'm pretty sure that's not 1,000. I'm going to verify that. So you got the new housing. Let's go ahead and read it out. Sales of new houses in June 2021 were at a seasonal adjusted annual rate of 676,000, according to estimated releases jointly today by the United States Census Bureau and Department of Housing and Urban Development. This is 6.6% below the revisited May rate of 724,000 and a 19.4% below June 2021. So right here is just saying that, hey, 6.6% of new home sales have dropped. Now here they go. Sales prices is very important because as sales prices go up, that make houses more unaffordable. The median sale price of a new house sold in June for $361,800. The average sale price was $428,700. So the average sale price of a new home in June, the average sale price was $428,000. Now it's $361,000. So now you're seeing that average start to drop. Obviously, you're seeing it drop, but I think we're seeing it cool off. So now let's pay attention to for sales inventory. Let's take a look at inventory and supplies. The seasonally adjusted estimates of new houses for sale at the end of June is 353. This represents a supply of 6.3 months at the current sales rate. So we could look at it a little bit more. Let's see what else data they have here. Explanatory notes. They might have some good stuff in here. No, I don't like that. So, okay, then they give you a breakout here of the seasonal adjustments. So essentially, ladies and gentlemen, you're seeing the housing market cool off. You're seeing the average house go from 428,000 to 361. You're seeing the new home sales starting to do a little decline in June. Now, this is just 1 month, but it's no shocker here. This was the reason why this is no big shocker. And the next report comes out on August 24th. This is no shocker because, hey, ladies and gentlemen, we don't see pay and wages going up that high. This is what inflation does. This is why inflation on a consistent time frame is not a good thing because it jacks the prices up. People are not paid enough. They can't afford the prices of the goods and services. You know, they saying, hey, your house is worth $500,000 and then it's going to be worth 600,000. But if you know your local economy is not booming like that, who's going to buy these houses? You got to ask yourself that question. You got to have an economy to back up people to be able to buy these houses. See what y'all say in the comment. Kendrick Taylor, what's going on? DSGB, down South Georgia boy. What's going on, Kendrick? What's going on? Said winter is coming. Oh, yeah, winter is coming. You know, the housing market is definitely, you've seen a cool off from June. So there you go. That's your housing starts report, ladies and gentlemen. Now, let's get into another juggernaut. Of LinkedIn. LinkedIn revenue up by 42%. Who owns LinkedIn? Does anybody know? Who knows LinkedIn? While I pull this financial report up, I don't think I had this one ready. I didn't think I was going to do this one, but I am. Investor relations. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Microsoft released their quarterly earnings tonight. So here it is. All right. They reported the revenue was up 17% at $43 billion. The operational income is up 29%. The net income is up 33%. The diluted earnings per share is up 34%. Now, here we go right here. I've been kind of watching this. LinkedIn revenue increased 23%, up 23% consistently, right? And I've been kind of watching that. The business highlights. This is not the one that I saw earlier, but Xbox, they own the, Microsoft. I'm looking at Microsoft. Of course, I didn't say it. Microsoft owns LinkedIn. Microsoft owns Xbox. Xbox content and services are increased by 40% on a consistent currency, 38% on a consistent currency. Okay. So, I think, like they always say, a lot of people at home playing the whole Xbox and the network and stuff like that. Who knows? I'm not really a gamer. Too funny. I mean, I like games, but I don't really play them. So here we go here. So right here, Microsoft, when I'm looking at Microsoft, I'm seeing that they have their LinkedIn, their social media, and their Xbox reports do so well, not reports, but finances do so well. It's very intriguing. Now let's take a look at their financial statements. Now let's see here. Take a look at their balance sheets. Let me pull that up for y'all. Let me stop this one. There we go. No, I don't want to see that one no more. Now let's take a look at Microsoft. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm looking at these companies, and some of these companies are coming some juggernauts, man. Where was I? There we go. These are the financial statements for Microsoft. Their current assets. This is their balance sheet that we're looking at. Microsoft Corporation. They're looking at, I think this is in millions. Yeah, this is in millions. So they got 14 billion total cash. They got 14 billion. No, they don't. I'm sorry, 13 billion. You got to pay attention to sometimes. Well, this don't make sense. No, this is not a good report. This is saying June 30th, 2020. I'm pretty sure, well, hopefully Microsoft didn't make a mistake. I don't want to see 2021. 2020. I want to see 2021, I meant to say. But up here, it has FY21 Q2. That don't make sense. Let's go back to menu. No, I don't want to. Historical. I don't want to see historical. Current financial statements. Balance sheet. Let's see if this is going to give me this. This doesn't make sense. Why is it saying June 30th, 2020, then December 31st, 2020? That's kind of weird. It should have been something more recent, but we're just going to go off the most recent data they got up here. So in their total cash and cash equivalents, they have 173 billion. Let's see what their debt is looking like. See what their debt is looking like. Long-term debt, 55 billion. So think about this right here. They have 55 billion in long-term debt. But then again, in their total cash, they have 131 billion. So the debt is definitely, they have enough money in their checking account too. So Google, these juggernauts financially, Google, Microsoft, and Chipotle are financial juggernauts this quarter that I've seen. Like their finances just look immaculate. It's like a lot of companies get in trouble with their evolution, like they can't evolve. Google is the it thing. Google is the internet. Everything is becoming more and more dominant with the internet. Google is in that space. Then on top of Google being in that space, their finances is just out of this world right now. Controlling their debt like a monster. They're bringing in money hand over fist. When you look at, they brought YouTube, which was a very smart investment for them 20, 30 years ago, and it's done, awesome for them. So that's when I'm looking at these quarterly reports, I did take a little glance at Starbucks. It's okay. But the juggernauts, the superstars I seen was Google, Microsoft, Chipotle, and I think Apple was the other one that I saw too. But yeah, they're reporting this, how LinkedIn is coming up so far for them and doing so well for them, which is great. Let me see what y'all saying in these comments. Let's look at Coinbase. Max B saying Google. Oh yeah, man. Google they looking pretty doggone good on their finance. You know what? Let's take a look at Coinbase. Did Coinbase release? Paul says Coinbase, please. Next, please. Let's take a look at Coinbase. I'll give me a second. I wasn't planning on Coinbase, but I just looked at my watch. I got time today. So let's do it. Let's do it. Shot the money bag, yo. All right, so let's take it. He said Coinbase. Coinbase. It did look very well on their IPO. I haven't looked at them since their IPO. They looked at, very awesome on their IPO. But let's take a look at them recently. Let's see here, amended. All right, I think, did they report their earnings back in May, June? Let's see here. Okay, quarterly earnings. I don't think. Let's see here. Okay, here it is. I think I got it. Okay. March to April, April to May, May to June. So they did the end of March. So it was March to April, April to May, May to end of June. Okay. So this is what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen. Go ahead and pull up with y'all so I can show y'all. All right. So now the only thing about it is this is what I'm getting here on their website. 2021 quarterly earnings. Because they just came out. They IPO'd this year. And the 10Q that I'm getting, let me change my screen here. It's not up to date on me. I'll give me 1 second here. It's pretty old. But if it's old, we'll take a look at it. No, I don't want to see you. I already got you. Y'all give me 1 second as I pull up the screen here. It's trying to hide from me, but I got you. There you go. Boom. I got you now. All right. So this is Coinbase's 10Q report, but the date on this says March 31st. See, for the period of March 31st, I think their earnings are going to be coming out soon. Let me make sure I got the latest one. Let's see what we got. Okay, yeah. Their next earnings don't come out till August 10th. So they're doing their earnings call on August 10th. The latest one they have is March 31st. And to be honest with you, Paul, we'll have to come back and do this one. I don't want to look at information that's going back to March 31st. So this is their last one they put out on March 31st. The next one is not until August 10th. So we'll have to wait until August 10th, and we could go over this one, but it's irrelevant information. They just IPO'd. They put this out. You're talking about March. That's what, 4 months ago now? Almost 4 months ago. So I don't want to go through this one. Even though they looked good, I did look at their IPO. I did look at their S1 filing. They looked good on the S1 filing, but yeah, with this one. So sorry, Paul, I can't do Coinbase. They don't come out till August 10th, and I don't want to read a March 31st report. Next time. We'll do that one next time. LK Raw, he said, I purchased some options in hopes of going to the moon. I woke up this morning in disbelief. The only thing I have going is time. What do you mean? What do you mean? Which one you brought? You brought options on who? Microsoft? You brought options on Google? Who you brought options on, LK Raw? Then he said, I took a beating in SPY QQQ. Well, you must have brought short term. Oh, yeah. They have been going down these last couple of weeks, but how far out? What's your expiration date on your call option? I'm telling you, the best way to buy those call options, man, to get those things for a year out. You know, earnings hadn't been crazy this season. You haven't seen stocks jump through the roof so far. Okay. All right, Paul. You say let's do Robinhood IPO. Let's do Robinhood IPO. I think that's the S1 filing. You know, I was going to do an episode on them. But yeah, give me 1 second here. S1. There we go. This is Robinhood's S1. When was this filed? What's the date on this thing? I'll give it 1 second. Seems like this thing is want to take its little time to boot up. I'll give it 1 second. What's the date on this Robinhood S1 report here? They just filed the IPO not too long ago. All right. So the S1, ladies and gentlemen, this is when a company initially lets everybody know, hey, I'm getting ready to go public, and they have some finances on it. So you can kind of get a glimpse into their finances when they're getting ready to go public. So this is the S1. The 10Q, 10Ks are for companies that are already public. 10K is an annual report. 10Q is a quarterly report. Easy way to remember that. The Q, quarter, K, annual. I don't know for the K. You on your own for that one, but the Q's kind of self-explanatory. So right here, Robinhood common Class A common stock. This is the S1 report. Let me pull some of this stuff down. I don't need that. Close some of my other windows. All right. They got all these graphics on here that I hadn't loaded yet. Goodness, thanks gracious, man. What's going on with my computer? This stuff should have loaded. Give me 1 second. Let me try to reload this thing. Because it seems like they got a bunch of graphics on it. And S1 reports usually have a bunch of graphics on it. They probably have kids and dogs and all of the good stuff like that. So let's see if we can have better luck with it. All right. Where are we at here? Okay, we got the S1 report. Okay, we got the big Robinhood logo. We had to boot that up for some reason. Our mission is to democratize finances for all. All right. I hear you, Robinhood. That's nice. You're playing on the phones. They got pictures of the phones. I want to get down to the finances. They got pictures of people option trading on their tablets. Bitcoin. Look at that. They're allowing people to do crypto. The Robinhood platform. Where's your finances? I don't care about this. Oh, they want to talk about their customers. They got Charles and Angelina and Gina and John. And okay, there we go. Here now we're getting down to the key numbers. So they got 8 million funded accounts, 17 million users, assets under custody, AUC, 81 billion. Okay, that's how y'all pay for flow. Okay, there we go. Now we finally getting down to the nitty gritty. Y'all know what, man? You know what? I'm gonna put a little background music on for Tuesday night. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want y'all to comment. Tell me when that lockup period is. When is Robinhood lockup period? So we're going to go to, let's see here. Where are their finances, dividend policy, capitalization, management. Now give me 1 second here. Director, principal, selling stocks. All right, here we go. Let's get that lockup period on Robinhood first. Let's see when that Robinhood lockup period. All right, here we go. Upon completion, based upon the number of shares of common stocks outstanding on March 31st, we have outstanding aggravation. I'm looking for that date. Y'all give me a second. I'm trying to get that lockup period. See if it's in here. first earning related day, class A, common stocks 30% greater. On 44. Okay, so their lockup period is 90 days preceding their IPO. So they got 90 days, right? 90 days. When does Robinhood IPO? One second. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So right here, this is the Rule 44, right? We talked about this in the entry to the sale. So they gotta wait. They gotta wait at least 90 days after they go IPO. Their lockup period is 90 days afterwards, ladies and gentlemen. Let me see who anybody answer that. Who knows what the lockup period is? LK Raw. I have some various months out. The short-term plays got beat up. Ooh, oh yeah. That implied volatility definitely got you. So he said Robinhood has too many problems. Somehow will skyrocket. Yeah, I'm definitely not on the I might change my mind once I look at these finances here. I'm not gonna lie. Let's take a look here. Let's see what we got here. Let's bring them back in. So their lockup period is 90 days after the IPO. They haven't IPO'd yet, but 90 days after the IPO, that's their lockup period. This is when the insiders have the ability to be able to sell their stocks, and that's probably going to be when we get our first earnings report. So now that we know that, it's a 90-day lockup period there. Now let's get in here and let's see what their finances look like. Let's see. Okay, let me get all the way back up here to the top, y'all. They got all type of crazy stuff in there. S1. Let me get back up to the top. The stuff that really matters. Okay. All right. Here we go. Where are they at here? The business, the management. I think it's in their business. Now let's go to the prospectus summary. They want to decriminalize, democratize finances for all, and anybody can get into finances. But sometimes people that come in with a lot of problems kind of find a way to fix it. No, I don't want to see this summary. That ain't exactly what I'm looking for. That's cute, but I don't care about that. Risk factors, that's some very important. But risk factor, you kind of say the same thing. Capitalization, no. Management. Let's look at the business. Yeah, here we go. Consolidated financial statements. They tried to hide it at the bottom. They didn't think I was going to find it. Of course I'm going to find it. So here we go here. Let's take a look, ladies and gentlemen. All right. They didn't think I was going to find this. Okay, so these numbers are in thousands. 3.9 billion in total assets. Total liability, 3.9. All right, so their total assets is 3.9 on it. Okay. Then they had a total liability of 3.1. So that leaves them about 800 something, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they got a shareholders. No, I definitely read that one wrong. Total assets. Oh my God, I'm reading. Okay, that's 2019. So December 2021. Okay. So they have 10 billion in total assets. Total liabilities of 8 billion. Convertible preferred stocks, things like that, 2.1 million. So what got them down to a deficit? Additions paid in capital, okay. Okay, so they have a negative net worth right now, a negative 6.5. Not too crazy about that. They got 1.4 billion in cash. Let's see what their debt looks like. The total current, they got a lot of debt on their hands, but they're a new company. So you got to think about it. This company has a lot of debt on its hand right now, right? Looking at this balance sheet. You look at their cash, the money they have in the bank, 10 billion in the bank, but then they got 8 billion in total liabilities. To look at the current assets of 10 billion, but then their current liability is 8 billion. So they're not too bad financially. Let's look at these revenues. Oh, they made almost $1 billion in revenues. Well, so I can tell right here they made almost $1 billion in revenue, but then they have almost $1 billion in total operating expenses. So are they operating at a loss right now? No, they're not operating at a loss. Come on, you know what? Congratulations. They're not operating at a loss. Most companies at IPO look horrible. They look horrible. So they're definitely not operating at a loss. So congratulations to them. So they are made in 2021, they made 958 million, but then their total operating expenses was 945 million. So they only walked away with, after they paid all of their operating expenses, their net income. Think about it. They made a big jump. Last year, they lost $106 million. Now they're up $7 million. So they have a positive net income of $7 million. I'm looking at the income statement now. Basic diluted. Okay, so they're not too bad. So right here, you can see their net income. Now we're looking at the cash flow statement. They do have a positive net income. So let's see what they come in at. Let's see what their price comes in at. That's not a bad spot, because you got to think about it, ladies and gentlemen, on their cash flow statement. When they start to sell those stocks, this is going to be their financing. When they start to sell these stocks and stuff like that, you're going to see this pop up in their financing activity, because the cash flow statement is broken down into operating activities, investing activities, and financial activities, right? So that's what I like about it. You know, they do have a good, they do have a very good way of looking at it. I'm not way of looking at it. We have a very decent spot. They're net positive of $7 million, and they're about to IPO. So let's see what the IPO price is. Let's see how much they're going to be when they come out. All right. Let's see what y'all said in these comments. Christian Cole. What's going on, Christian Cole? He says, good stream topic. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, comment, and share button too. He said, if their lockup period ends in 90 days, I'll get puts for then. Yeah, they have an IPO. Yeah, when they IPO, they have 90 days. Pretty much 90 days is going to be exactly when they release their first earnings. And this is when the initial people will be able to get out. So, yeah. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I enjoyed y'all tonight. I hope y'all got something out of it. I'm about to go and have me a little stogie, a little cigar here, and I gotta get some studying tonight. So definitely, ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all for tuning in. Y'all hit that like, subscribe, comment, and share button. Share it around. Tell all your friends and cousins and that you tune into the Investor Show. You know, with this funny looking guy that told you all this cool stuff. Hope y'all got something out of it tonight. Hope y'all have a great night too, and happy investing. We'll be back here. Y'all stay tuned. All right. Until the next video, podcast, cartoon, or whatever else crazy y'all see me doing around the globe. As always, my name is Prince Dykes. Peace. Be safe. I'm out. Thank you.